Hold tight. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Joanna Trelove, your Miss Women United States, and I am with the
I
lovely
am.
Miss
Yes.
Mama Moody. Yay! This is our final
Hello.
Queen Share of the year, and what a perfect person to bring this to the end. My goodness. You are seeing two queens in their most authentic space right now. I just finished getting my hair colored, getting ready for nationals, so it's fresh off the dye. And Mama, where are you calling in from? Where are you right
I
now?
am actually at work. I had to sneak off for just a little while to jump on here and talk with Joanna for a minute, but I'm
Yay!
at work. As
Perfect.
usual, I'm at work.
So, for those of us that don't know what you do in service for work, what is it that makes you what you are? What do you do?
I I am a nurse. I have been an LPN for 34 years. I work in long-term health care. That means that like the nursing home part. So I work in
Okay.
the nursing home setting.
Wow. Okay. So, my goodness, when you say that you're always at work, I'd imagine with the last, 18 months of our lives,
Oh, it's been crazy.
what, I mean, I need more. What is that crazy
It's
look like?
like when the pandemic first hit.
Yeah.
Of course, nobody knew what was going on. Nobody knew. Everybody was afraid. So,
Right.
we are nurses, so we still have to take care of those loved ones. They got word they had to shut the buildings down. No families could come in, and that was really hard
Oh
on the
my
resident,
gosh.
and it was hard on the nurses because we were all they had. That's all they saw
Right.
was us. And so we really, if you wasn't already treating them like family, you really had to treat them like they were your loved ones. And I pretty much do that anyway, so it wasn't hard for me to adjust.
Yeah. Yeah. So how long have you been in this field? How long has this been your career path? Always?
34 years.
Oh my goodness. 34 years. What
34
a blessing.
years.
And why this particular space? Why working with the elderly in this fashion? Why is it
I
that?
I was raised in a what we call a blended extended family. It was my mom, my dad, and my grandmother and my grandmother's sister. So I'm
Wow.
used to being around older people, and I don't know, I just tend to gravitate to the older people. They have
Yeah.
so much wisdom, and I can just sit there and talk to one of my residents until they say, Miss Moody, you got to get up, you got to go somewhere, you got to move to the next one. I mean, I just enjoy talking to them. They just are a wealth of knowledge. They just know
Right.
so much, and
Yeah.
they've been through so much, and it's just awesome to see them. And a lot of times when you think of nursing homes, you think is old people. It's not really like that anymore. I have people my age and younger. Somebody may have
Wow.
had
You're
a
kidding.
yeah.
Now, is this a skilled nursing home or
The nursing, well, it's called, what they call the a rehabilitation
okay.
part of the nursing home. So you may have somebody that was like us, up and about, working, got hurt real bad, and
Ah,
they're here for
yes.
therapy. So I primarily work on the therapy side of the nursing home. Like they're here for 21 days, 60 days, 100 days until they get better and they go home and go
And they
back to
can
work.
integrate back
Mhm.
into their home. Wow.
Mhm.
So during this last year or so, I mean, having their families removed from that equation, you are much more than someone that was just their nurse. I'm guessing that you
Right.
provide a lot of that emotion,
Right.
spirituality.
I was more like a daughter or a niece or a granddaughter, or just depending on their age, that's
Right.
the way they look at me, because they say they see us more than they did their family. Even though we did Zoom calls, we tried to it's not the same though. You see a Zoom, like you and I are talking. I see you. It's not definitely not the same as when I see you
And we're going to
next week and we
hug.
can actually
Yes.
hug, right?
Yes.
and
Yes.
and so with them not being able to like physically touch, they could come to the window and visit. If they were in a private room, they could
Oh,
set up times and we would open the blinds and they could see them and know that they were okay, but it's still not the same as being able to touch mama or mima or papa or
yeah.
anything like that.
And how do you think that is affecting, like not having that physical touch? How are you
I,
seeing
I
that's
really I
affecting
really
life?
think it made a lot of them a little depressed, especially the ones that had very active family members.
Right.
You saw a lot of depression. We had to start giving a lot of our residents anxiety medicine just to
Oh,
keep
wow.
them calm, because they
Yeah.
were so used to seeing, like some of them were so used to having their meals brought to them by their loved ones, and then now you just got to eat whatever's in this facility. You got to eat whatever they prepare. Like
Right.
it's no outside food. You couldn't
Right.
bring outside food. You couldn't bring outside drinks. We couldn't even go out to order. When this pandemic first started, we were just pretty much, if you didn't bring your food from home, you were just messed up. You couldn't leave and go out and get something and come back,
Wow. So,
because once we put all that PPD equipment
uh,
on, it was on. You had that on until your shift was ended.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So how did that affect you? I
it,
mean,
it was it was
what?
actually it was really hard on me, because I had a grandson that was born during the pandemic. He
Oh,
was born in March. He was born March the 24th of 2020. I had never not been with my daughter and my son-in-law. I had I
so you
couldn't
can't.
leave because we couldn't go to another state. We had to stay right here in Alabama. So they live in Georgia. So it broke my heart. I was so sad. Like when she called me, and he like videoed it, but it was not the same as me being there.
What?
I didn't get to hold him. He probably was like 11 months old the first time I actually saw him, like physically was able
Wow.
to hold him. So
Wow.
it was hard. It was really hard on me. And I'm not from Alabama. All my family's in Mississippi. I couldn't go home. I had a nephew to get killed in a car wreck February, and then next thing we know, March, the pandemic hit. So I wasn't able to grieve with my family the loss of that nephew. So
Right.
it's been hard, and like I say, sometimes it doesn't seem like he's gone for real, because I never had that period to actually grieve, because I'm not able to go home like I usually go home. And so it's not like I go to my sisters and I don't see him and I'll be like, he gone. It's just like, well, I hadn't been home, so Dale's still there. Like I know once all this is over with, and if we do get to be together for Thanksgiving, it probably would hit me like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't just my nephew, he was more like my other son, because I only have
Yeah.
one son.
Yeah.
And my son and him were only 3 days apart. So they were really, really close.
How
So
many how many children do you have, Mama?
I have three. I
So
have my son is the oldest. He'll be 40 in November. Tara, my oldest daughter, she lives in Georgia. She just turned 36. And
yeah.
then my baby girl, which will actually be in the pageant, she just turned 30. Taryn is in the Miss division.
You're kidding.
No, she's in the
Oh
Miss
my
division.
goodness. How exciting is
So
that?
a lot of people say she's a lot like me. She definitely has my heart. She's a giver just like her mama. So you'll love her. She can sing. Oh my
Of
God, she can
course I
sing.
will. Oh, I can't wait. I can't
You will
wait.
love her, Joanna. You will
Of
love her.
course I will. Of course I will. I can't wait to meet her. My goodness, that's exciting. What a great, you know, I always feel like God is always giving us a gift of something that just makes our heart smile. That was it. Finding that out. That
Yeah,
was a good one.
yeah,
So, okay, you have three babies just that are all your own, and now you're a grandma. How many grandbabies do
yes.
you have?
I have five. My son
What?
has two. You probably will remember, if you remember this cute little fella last year that was walking around with Teresa and I. Teresa was Miss New York, Miss
Yes. How
Woman New
is
York.
that?
That's my oldest grandson. His name is
Oh,
Christian.
oh, what a
That's
beautiful
my
name.
that's my son. Him and Teresa were married, and then they divorced, but she's still my heart. So we're
She's still
still
your
very,
girl.
very close. And so Christian is the oldest, and then the next one is Uni. She's 5, and
These
she's a
names are
spit.
great.
Yeah, so she's 5, and then she has two brothers. That's Sterling and AP. And then my son has a
Sterling.
baby little
Great
girl. Her
name.
name is Riley.
Riley. My gosh, these names are beautiful.
Yeah, so
Do
yeah,
they
I
have
have
any
a
reason of being, or are they just great picks?
Christian, my son named him, so he's named after his granddad. James is his middle name. So my father-in-law, my ex-father-in-law, his name is James, and of course my son looks just like him, and so he loves his grandpa. So he made sure that his son had part of his grandpa name.
I
And Riley, always wanted a Riley. And Tara, Sterling is from the, that This Is Us.
uh-huh.
That okay, that guy, his real name is Sterling, the black guy, his
Yes.
name is Sterling. Okay, that's where my grandson name comes from,
Wow.
Sterling.
Okay.
And AP is, his name is really Augusta. That's my father's name. And Uni is actually part of my name. My name is Lyounious. So the UNI is from my name.
Oh, is that well? And let's talk about your name. What a unique name is that? And I'm not gonna lie, I was completely intimidated for a year to say it. So I'm so grateful that everyone calls you Mama Moody. That really
Yeah,
works for me.
yeah,
For those of you that are just tuning in, we are here with Miss Mama Moody, and the two of us just took a little time out from our day. I was just getting my hair done, so that's why my hair is all wet and slicked back, but it'll be ready for nationals. And Miss
right.
Mama was just taking a break out of her work shift today and making time for some queen shares. So I noticed that we have a lot of beautiful queens on watching us today. I just wanted to catch them up into our conversation.
Okay.
So you were about to say why your name is what it is. Does it have a meaning? Is it passed down? Tell me about this beautiful.
Actually, my mom was very creative. My mom was Native American, and she wanted us to have just a little bit of that. Like my
Huh?
dad is black, and my mom was Native American, Cherokee, and so she gave us names that had meaning. Like she would take like a great aunt and maybe a grandmother and mix their names together, and that's how I got my name. It's like two different people's name, and she merged them together. Like I have a sister, her name is Dunal, and the auntie that she was named after actually name was Sundial.
Oh,
So she,
okay.
yeah, so she, that's how she named us. And we all have like odd names, and people look at us and not really know how to say it. And I just laugh, and I'll tell them how to say it, but most of the time people can't say it. And I just say, it's okay, don't worry about it. Just call me Mama Moody.
Well, and where did that come from? Where did Mama Moody? When was that created?
Actually, it's funny because I remember in 2019, I did Miss Woman Alabama, United States,
Okay.
and Holly Landrip. I didn't almost, I fell down this flight of stairs, and she caught
No.
me. And she said, I got you, Mama Moody. And it just kind of like stuck, and everybody started saying, Mama Moody, Mama Moody.
It
So
makes
for the
perfect.
past 3 years, everybody's been calling me Mama Moody. And I know, like, people call me Mama Moody, and I don't even know them. I say, oh, it's nice to meet you, sweetie. I'll be like, I don't know who that is.
I love it.
But they be like, hey, Mama Moody. They'll go on Facebook, or they'll go on my Miss Woman Alabama page, and they'll be like, I can't wait to meet you, Mama Moody. So I know it's going to be so many people that I get to hug that know me by my
Yes.
name, Mama Moody, but I'll actually get to see them in person. So that should
Yes.
be fun.
It feels just right for me. I mean,
Yeah,
I can't imagine. The kids growing up, they all called me Mama Joe. So
yeah,
when I hear another mama referred to as a mama
right,
like that, it makes perfect sense, right? It
right,
makes perfect sense.
right,
And I don't know about you, but for me, um, being a woman representing our division, the Ms. Woman division, it is very special to me because I really feel that, and again, join me in this conversation, but there's something to be said about standing and showing face of what a
right,
woman today looks like.
right,
She is possibly, and by my own right, a mom.
right,
She has her story. She has got her experience. She's got her wisdom, all the things a mama has.
right,
And I feel like we get to be the mama bears of
right.
all the title holders,
Yeah, we
and
are
I
like
love it.
that mother figure. We are.
I love it. To me, I can't imagine being in any other division, any other division being better than ours.
Yeah,
It makes
and
me
that's
feel
just
so
like
good.
last year. Last year when we met, it was like we just automatically, because we had been talking. We had our own little group page last year, and we we knew each other even without knowing each other. It was like,
Yep.
and everybody's like, oh, y'all so special. Y'all together. And everybody was kind of a little envious of us due to the fact that we all got along. It wasn't that like the typical pageant stuff. We
No,
didn't have that. And I told him, I said, we're
no,
grown. We're mature women. We don't act
we
like
are.
that. Like,
And we understand what it takes to be a woman of our age. And so
right.
when we see each other, we honor that.
Yeah.
We appreciate what everyone is doing, by their own right to become and to be and to step into that space of light. And I think
Yeah.
that's where the honor and the love, the sisterhood comes from.
Right. And I actually enjoy it. Like I love telling people that so Mama Moody, why do you do pageants? I say, are you kidding? Do you not realize how much fun that is? I said, I don't have any pressure on me. I just get out there and be my normal self. I said, I'm
Yeah,
just being Mama Moody. And they was like, well, don't you feel intimidated by the young girls? I was like, no,
no,
no. I'm 59 and fabulous.
that's right. You are. That's right.
I,
So
I don't have a problem with my age at
when
all.
did you begin pageantry? Have you always done this
I
or?
did pageants when I was much, much younger. My mom was the type of person, she wanted us to be very diverse, do some of everything, be your best at whatever you choose to be in life. We were taught that. So we did pageants, and like I used to tell them, I may not win, but I'm gonna make you look at me. Like I'm
Yeah,
gonna look
that is the
good.
best. That is the best.
Yes. So
Yes.
yeah, I did them when I was younger. Then after my daughter, my middle daughter was actually Miss Alabama Teen USA in 2004. So she got
Wow.
to be
So
on
it's a legacy.
TV. Yeah. So she got to
Awesome.
be on TV. And so I told her when I first found out about Miss Woman United States, and I was like, you know what? I kind of want to do it. And next thing I know, she had sent my entry fee in. And she was
Ah,
like, she said, what better way, mommy? She said, you always teach this stuff. How about you show them?
how
And I
about
was
you?
like, you know what? That's right. And so
Yeah.
that's what I did. I wanted to show
Yes.
them. Never be afraid to do something that you may not feel comfortable doing. As long as it's something positive, always try. You can never fail as long as you're trying.
No, you certainly can't. I've never met anyone that did. You're absolutely right.
Right, right.
So this is a great lead in to those three words, BFF.
Yes.
And I know that you use them a lot. Could you share with us what that means
Okay.
and how it unfolds for you and in your life?
BFF it's called Best Foot Forward. It's a mentor program for young girls and young ladies. I started out in like the little schools that my kids actually went to. I saw a lot of girls with low self-esteem, and just wasn't sure about what they wanted in life and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And I went to the principal and I was like, hey, I want to know if I can come and talk to some of the girls that you think would benefit in listening to what I got to say. Well, the first time I think I had about 15 girls. I talked to them. Then they told their friends. So the next time I went, I had about 30. So it just grew like that. And then it
right.
was like,
Try.
oh, yeah. So when another parent found out about, well, my daughter don't go to this school. Can you come to her school? So that's how I started going to the schools. And we just talk about different little things. One of my very most favorite fun activities is to do, we call it Pamper Me Pretty. My
Oh,
daughter Taryn comes in. She does their makeup. She does their nails.
I
And
love
my
that.
oldest daughter Tara, she does the motivational speaking to them. And what we do is I buy however many girls I'm going to have that particular time. I buy mirrors for each one of them. We buy all kind of little arts and crafts. Let them bedazzle that mural whichever way they want to. And then I go around the table and I ask them, what do you want to be? What do you see yourself being when you get older? And they would say, some said police officer, some said a lawyer, doctor. One little girl said the president of the United States. And each time I ask them, I tell them, pick that mirror up, look at that mirror. That's who you are. And they
Ooh,
was
that
like,
gave me
oh,
chills.
they were like, oh.
Good, good,
So
good,
we
good
we use
job.
that all the time because you don't realize that the impact that has on that little girl. And then of course, they get to keep their bedazzled mirror, so that's
Right,
even better.
right.
But yeah, whatever they say they want to be, I tell them to pick the mirror up. I say, what do you say you want to be? I say, look, that's who you are.
that is a really, my goodness. When you think about it, it's a very simple practice,
Right.
but the impact, there's nothing simple about that impact. That's a very, very profound and powerful opportunity for someone to experience themselves. And I
Right.
love that you take the time to open those doors and to shine light in a space that helps someone else see their mirror reflection so beautifully, so empowered. That's a
Right.
choice, right? There's a lot
Right.
of people that walk in and out of school, that volunteer, that do what they do, and they come and they go.
Right.
But you're choosing to not only make a difference to a few, but to many, and to do it with great, grand gesture that leaves a mark. And that's pretty
Right.
impressionable. Thank you. Thank
No,
you.
you're welcome.
I don't think I ever knew that story. So I'm so grateful that I see you now in that
Yeah.
space. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So when are you able to do this most lately with everything that's going on with our, the weird um,
Well,
restrictions?
when
Are you
COVID
doing
hit,
things
I had
virtually?
to start. Yeah, when COVID first started, I had to try to be creative and do Zoom. It's nothing like, well, when you do it Zoom wise, you can't do all the activities that we do. You're really doing
Yeah.
like just talking to them, and a
Yeah.
lot of times they still need that because you may have one little girl that actually needs to reach out to you. She may have been being bullied, or she may not have the best circumstances at home.
A lot of bullying going on right now.
Right.
Really, I'm telling you
Right.
what, it makes this Mama Joe real upset.
Right.
Um, I got zero tolerance for it, and it's
I have
happening
zero
on
tolerance
social
for it
media.
too.
And
Yeah.
it's not just children.
Oh no,
You
no, no,
see a
no,
lot
no.
of
It's
a
grown
lot of
people.
adults doing. Yeah, yeah. I really encourage that whole mirror reflection,
Yeah.
because people need to see what they're putting out, and
Right.
and realize, is that what you want to see? Is that what
Right.
you want to be?
Right.
So that's a beautiful thing. Are you able to do any of this in your work environment with the elderly as well?
Yeah, I
I
actually
bet.
did it once. I actually did it one time and they had a ball. Oh, they had so much fun. We didn't say, what do you want to be? We just let them be dazzled the mirror, and then they looked at it, and they got to get the makeup done and they had their little nails done. Oh, we just call it pamper day at the
Uh,
facility, but with COVID, everything is just not the same anymore. It's getting better, but some facilities still don't want you coming. If you don't work there, they don't want you like outside vendors or anything like
yeah.
that coming in. But I'm blessed because I do work in a long-term care facility, so I do have that advantage that I can still reach, maybe not the younger ones, but the older ones I still can reach
And
and
they need it
teach.
just as much. Absolutely.
Right, right, right. And they actually enjoy because they was like, "Oh, we've been cooped up in here for so long. We so happy to get something done to our face and
Yeah.
nails." So
Yeah.
they actually enjoyed it. Yeah,
Yeah. It's really important. I think anytime we have an opportunity to make someone else feel special, you should.
that's
It
true.
and it really it in my own personal experience, not only does it reflect and radiate back on you tenfold, but it really just takes a moment, you know?
Just a
It
moment.
just takes a moment. I read this story many, many moons ago. Remember that book, Chicken Soup for the Soul,
Yes,
right? Those little collections
yes.
of stories. And I think this one of these stories was a catalyst for me, because it was talking about how this these two high school students collided in the hallways, and one of them knocked all their books over, and the other student helped that other student pick up their books
Hmm.
and made eye contact and asked, it's okay, and was just kind, was
Right.
simply just kind. And they went through their whole high school experience, and the last day of high school came, and the one high school student went up to the other and said, I just wanted to let you know that one day, do you remember that one day when I knocked all my books down and you helped
Hmm.
me? And that other student said, yeah, of course. Well, the confession was, I was going home to kill myself that day, and I was
Wow.
just cleaning everything out. And I thought nobody cared and nobody saw me. And because you helped me and you looked at me in my eyes the way that you did,
Right.
you made me feel that I mattered. And
Right.
here I am. I never killed myself. And
Right.
it's just, I know it's a big story to share in that moment, but you never know what someone's
You
going through.
never know. You never
Never know.
know.
I've been through a hassle and a half of trauma. And I was the biggest shining smile you would have ever seen, even when I didn't have teeth,
Right.
because I that was how I coped. So you would have never known what I was going through. And boy, there wasn't a day that did not go by that I did not need and relish and just savor when someone looked me in the eyes and just gave me love, true kindness.
Right.
And I prayed to God every day, and I said, God, you get me through this, and I'm going to be your girl the rest of my life,
Yeah.
and and certainly he did, right? We know that that happens.
Yeah.
And that's why I do everything that I do. Even if it's just the smallest crumb of kindness, you give it, you share it.
Yeah.
Even if
Yeah.
it's the last crumb you have, you share it, because it's so important to realize that no matter what we're going through, someone else could be too. And it could be
That's
worse,
true.
it could be bigger, it could be harder. And a lot of women, I can't, I'm not a man, so I can never speak what that feels like.
Right.
But as a woman, from a young girl till now, gosh, how many days have gone by where, someone just said to you, you're so pretty, or
Yeah.
you're so smart, or well,
Yeah.
thank you. Didn't that just make your day?
Yeah.
And it just takes a moment to do that. So to think that you are creating these inner circles for young women and really women of all ages to have that moment where not only do they feel and experience your kindness, but they're able to see their beauty.
Hmm.
That's a reflection of you and your heart. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Everybody tell me I have a heart like my mom. My mom was but she was a little bitty little lady, but she had the biggest heart. I can remember when I was 12 years old, and I learned how to drive, and she would cook for the whole entire community.
Oh,
And I guess that was what we call Meals on Wheels. Now I would
that's right.
deliver the
Eat
food
those
to
balls.
the
That's right.
elderly. I would deliver the food to the elderly. I would drive. My dad's friend was the sheriff, so he knew what I was doing, and he knew that I was responsible enough that I
Yeah,
wasn't going to do nothing but deliver that food and come back home, and that's what I did. And so I guess that all planted that seed, and I've always wanted to be just like my mom. My mom was a social worker, but she had the biggest heart. She always gave, 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 and she never ever expect anything in return. She If she saw a child in school that she was over, didn't have shoes, oh, she was gonna go to the store, buy that child some shoes,
and
and bring
socks.
them to him, and never say a word about it. You
That's
never
right.
heard her say a word about it. She would
That's
just
right.
do it. And I've
That's what
always
moms
said,
do.
and as I get older, a lot of her cousins will say, you don't look like your mom, but you act just like Guthrie. You act just like her. And I say, thank you, because I've always wanted to be just like my mom. So I say, thank you.
Yeah, that's a beautiful gift.
Yeah.
So, what was it for you that, what was the seed in your heart that planted, that told you, that moment where God just called you and said, okay, this is what we're going to do. I want you to start using these words and calling in your best foot forward and creating this
I,
space.
I
What
think
was
it
that moment for
started,
you?
I think it actually, I really think it started with my nieces. Like my nieces, a lot of them didn't have, they weren't like my children. My children were raised to think that they were good, always do good, good would follow you. But I had some nieces that they were very beautiful girls, but weren't told that all the time. So I
Yeah.
think it kind of started at home. Like was like, okay, let me show you. Have you ever thought about doing this? And it was like, I was like, okay, let me teach you. Let me show you what you need to do. And then it's kind of started from there. And then I would go to school and to pick up one of my children, and I would see this one little girl. I was like, I said, come here. I said, you're so pretty. She said, no, I'm not. I was
Oh,
like, what? I said, you're beautiful. She said, no, I'm
beautiful.
not. I'm ugly. I said,
Oh,
baby, who told you you were ugly?
exactly. We
And
need to
so,
talk.
and I started talking to my oldest daughter. I was like, I don't like that. I don't like that somebody's telling her that she's ugly. I
Right.
said, and so she was like, well, so what you gonna do about it, mommy? And I was like, I'm gonna think about this. And I thought about it and I prayed about it. And next thing I know, I was going into those schools.
Yeah,
And like I guess this is what I'm supposed to do. I
that's
need
right.
to reach them before they get too old. Like I start with the elementary schools. So by the time they get to junior high and high school, they will have that self-esteem and they will have that confidence that they need to have, so they won't be easily persuaded to do stuff for stuff. You have to, it's all different types of variables.
Pause, pause. You said something, and I just want to really let everyone hear that again. So they don't have to do stuff for stuff.
Correct.
Tell me what that means a little more. Peel that apart.
That means that you have some people that actually prey on young girls. You have older men that will prey on younger girls. Oh, you're so pretty. I'm going to give you this. And they take it. Next thing you know, oh, you're so pretty. I'm going to give you this. The next thing you know, they're abusing your body. And you don't even realize that's what's happening because you're like, oh, they like me and they give me these gifts. So therefore, I need to do whatever it is that they ask me to do of them.
Yeah.
So, and then the phases of teaching the young children it starts like small and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger because you need to let these young girls know that your body is your temple. That's the way my mom and grandma raised us. Your
Yes.
body is your temple. You don't let anybody abuse it. You don't let anybody use it. You
Yeah.
say no. It's okay to say no.
Yep.
So what? Let people talk about you. My mom used to always say, baby, they talked about Jesus Christ. So who are
That's
you not to be talked about? So
yep.
I tell people all the time, I'm not cocky. I have a lot of confidence. I'm not cocky. I probably got one of the biggest hearts you'll ever find in a person, but I was just raised a little bit different than a lot of people where I was raised to think that I was beautiful. And a lot of people aren't raised like that. So I try to reach those that weren't raised like that.
Well, and I love what you're sharing and teaching women, young ladies from ground zero up on how
Right,
to honor their body as a temple, and that it's not about somebody else telling you, who you
right,
are or how beautiful you are, but rather
right,
it's you knowing, and in
right.
knowing who you are as a child of God, and in knowing what a blessing and a gift you are. You have the right to have boundaries with your sacred space. You
That's
have the
true.
right to say no, and you have the right to enjoy who you are by your own right. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing that I don't think our world is sharing enough right now. We're
Right.
really showing sexual exploitation. I mean, every time I scroll down social media, there's another
Yes,
exploited young woman. And
yes,
what I always think to myself, what is that sharing? What is that teaching? What is that showing? How are they feeling? And I think that's why we see so much bullying going on, social media and in the chat,
right,
and why the security or their insecurities are heightened more in these generations than ever before. It's so important that we use our gifts from our wisdom and
right.
share that, shed that, pass that on to these generations.
Hmm.
They need it. You're absolutely
Right.
right. They absolutely need it.
Yep.
Yeah. So what would you say is the one thing? We talk about beauty, we talk about knowing you can be whatever you want and
Hmm.
put that best foot forward. But what do you feel is the single most important virtue or value that a young, impressionable woman, or really a woman of any age, can ingest and behold? What would you, if you had one thing to share, what would you want each woman to know and to feel by your graces?
I would like for them to have self-worth.
What does self worth mean by you?
Self-worth to me is know what you're worthy of. Know that you deserve better. Know that you don't have to just settle for mediocre or anything. That could be a job, that could be a significant other. Just always, as my mom say, shoot for the moon and you'll be amongst the stars. That's what she used to always tell us. So, always strive for something better. Like, I want my children to do better than what I did. And I want my grandchildren to do better than what my children did. You should always want to, strive a little higher, strive a little higher.
Now, what would you say to someone that said to you, "Isn't it ever enough? Isn't this ever good enough?"
It all depends on what they're talking about. Like
So,
me, I'm a nurse and I think that's good enough. I've never had the desire to go to school to be an RN. I don't think God called me to be a nurse to be an RN. I'm very effective at being
uh-huh.
an LPN. And it's not, to me, I didn't get in nursing for the money. I got into it because I truly believe it was my calling. So yes, it's enough, but you still should strive for your best, not necessarily somebody else's best. If your best is being a CNA, then that's it.
Right.
You just be the best CNA there is. And if your best is an LPN like myself, that's good too. If you want to be an RN or a nurse practitioner, whatever your best is, that's what you strive for.
So what I'm hearing is it doesn't matter what's enough to somebody else. It's what's enough for you.
What's enough for that individual person? Correct.
And so each individual person gets to define their worth.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a beautiful virtue. Very nice. Very nice. So we have, this world at large going through so many changes right now. What's your take on all that? What do you pray about, for our world and for our people? And, I know that you spend a lot of time caring and giving. Um, what's in your heart there? And what would you like to just share that's within you um, for the greaterness of just this moment?
I would like to see more unity. Um,
Mm.
I, I'm just not used to the divisions and all that. I'm just not.
Thanks.
I wasn't raised like that. So,
Yeah, me too.
we were raised. We were just raised in the community that I'm from. It was very diverse. We had blacks, we had whites, and that's pretty much all it was. We didn't have
Yeah,
other people. It was just blacks and whites, and we got along just fine. In the little place that I'm from, a little place called Buckatona, Mississippi. And right to this day, I can go home and they know who I am. They're going to come up, they're going to hug me, blacks, white, it does not matter. So I just wish that everybody could experience that kind of love,
yeah,
and that kind of commitment. Because when one heard it in that community, everybody
we all
pitched
did.
in.
You can.
Yeah, and I don't think it's like that pretty much anymore. Maybe still back home, but like in the bigger cities, it's definitely not. It's not like that here in Birmingham, and that's
Yeah,
that bothers me. And I know I can't fix it. I would love to fix it,
yeah.
but I can't. But I
It's
would love to
radical
see more
difference.
unity.
Yeah, in Los Angeles, we're dealing with a great, travesty of homeless,
Yeah,
and people want to point and blame why it is. And my
yeah,
answer is always there are people. It doesn't matter whether it's
right.
they're in our community. They're part of our
They're
they're
still
our
they're
people.
still our people. They
So
still
if
are
you
our
have extra
people.
food on your table, go help them, feed them.
Right,
If you have
right,
blankets, if you can help, if you can get help,
right,
it's not anyone else's reason, rhyme, or wrong. Just help.
right. Just
Get
help.
in because we are all people, and at any time our lives can change. And wouldn't you want to know that someone would show up for you?
Exactly.
No matter what the color of our skin is,
That's
what time of
right.
day we were born, or what time of day we go to sleep. Show up and give.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's a beautiful thing. Well, I would love to just take a moment to say a prayer with you.
Okay.
And I think that of all the things that we've just kind of pulled into the space, it really has shown and revealed to us all the needs that need our light and prayer. So I'm wondering if you would close us today by leading us in that prayer and just taking a moment to ground into that space of the Lord and shed our light real, real, real bright.
I sure will. Dear
All right.
Heavenly Father, I just want to thank you. I thank you so very much for bringing Joanne and I together last year. And
Yeah.
we are still friends to this day. And I
Oh,
thank you for that, dear Lord. I just want everybody to see that there is still hope. place for love and peace and unity, and that we shouldn't look at people by the color of their skin or by the shapes of their bodies. We're all beautiful in our own light because you created us, God, and you don't make no trash. So therefore, we're all beautiful in your light, in your eyes. And if we just start looking to you for our guidance and our need to help others, then I guarantee these people that we will be in a better space and a better place if we just act as if we're working through you, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Man, yes, I love that. Thank you. And
You're welcome.
you said something that is just such a woven piece of thread, and that is that unity that we all have when we allow God to work through us.
Right.
And it's
Right.
one thing to feel God in our life. It's one thing to see God's miracles, but it is a whole nother thing when we let God work through us
That's
and
true.
we lean into that light and we appreciate the beauty that He has given us to discover each and every day within ourselves and with each other.
Right.
And I'm so grateful to have this beautiful moment of discovery with you, Miss Mama Moody. And I just want to send a big blessing out to all of our queens. I know that
Yes.
everyone's got to be just working their little crowns off,
Yeah.
getting ready to shine bright.
Getting ready to shine bright like the
Uh-huh.
diamonds that they are.
That's right. That's right. And as you go back into your world serving all those beautiful folks on the other side of that wall, I go back to get my hair dried out and ready for the rest of the day. I just want to say thank you so much for taking a moment of your day to spend with
Oh,
me.
you're welcome.
And
You're
I'm
very
so
welcome.
looking forward to seeing you and feeling you next
All
week.
right. All
All right,
right.
everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into Queen Shares. I'm Joanna Traylove, your Miss Woman United States. And that is the
Uh,
beautiful.
Mama Moody, Layanis Moody, Miss Woman, Alabama, United States, 2021.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. We are wishing you a beautiful and blessed day. Mwah.
Mwah.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.